Hi everybody. I know that it's been almost a month or maybe about a month since I read chapters 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4 of Junie B Jones and the Mushy Gushy Valentine. So I'm now going to finish the book. So let's start on chapter 5. Now, as we remember, the whole class is making a big beautiful box for all the kids' Valentines to go in before the whole class gets to get all the Valentines. Their teacher's going to pass them all out to them on the Valentine's Day party, and Lucille is telling Grace that she's going to get lots more Valentines than Grace because she is prettiest and the most precious, as we all know that Lucille thinks. So, the next chapter is chapter 5, and I think that's when they're going to have their party and get all the Valentines. And I bet Lucille has another thing coming. Chapter 5 is Valentine's Time. Valentine's Day came on Friday, and guess what? My grandma Helen Miller bought me a special Valentine's outfit, and it matched my heart antennas very perfect. Here's her heart antennas. They're cute. She's so cute. That day at school, I skipped all around room 9 because I was a treat for the eyes, I tell you. Finally, I sat in my seat, and Mrs. took attendance. And guess what? Nobody was absent, because who wants to miss a party? That's why. After attendance, Mrs. put on a special Valentine's apron. It had a big heart pocket on the front. Then Mrs. filled the heart pocket with Valentine cards from the box, and she delivered them to all the children. And wait till you hear this. The very first Valentine was delivered to me, Junie B Jones, and it said my name right on the envelope. Yahoo! I shouted real thrilled. I'm first again. Yay, Mrs. I'm first. After that, Mrs. kept on delivering cards until the whole Valentine's box was empty. Then all of us got to open up our cards, and it was as fun as a birthday party, I tell you. After Lucille finished opening her Valentines, she called Grace to our table. Come here, Grace. Come here and bring your Valentines. Then you and I can count our cards, and we'll see who got the most from the boys. Grace came over. She smiled kind of nervous. Well, okay, here goes, she said. Then Grace put all her Valentines in front of me and Lucille, and she counted them one by one. Pretty soon, Grace wasn't smiling anymore. Rats! I knew I shouldn't have come over here, she said. Lucille grinned a teeny bit. Why, Grace, she asked, how many did you get? You have to tell me, Grace, how many? Grace did a big sigh. I only got 17, she said. I only got one card from every person, and that's all. No extras. Lucille's face lighted up very bright. She flipped her hair all around in the air. And here's Lucille being all sassy to Grace. And Lucille thinks that she's got more than Grace. She's sad because she's only got 17. But that's how many they're all supposed to get. Gee, I am sorry to hear that, Grace, she said. Well, I suppose I should count mine now. After that, Lucille counted her cards in front of me and Grace, and she counted them right out loud. 13, 14, 15, 16. All of a sudden, Lucille stopped counting, 'cause there was only one more Valentine left in her pile, that's why. She quick stood up at her seat, and she looked all around herself. First, she looked under the table, then she looked on top of the chair, and all over the floor. Also, she looked in her pockets and her backpack and her purse. Finally, she sat back down real upset. I don't understand, she said. How could this be happening? Every day my Nana tells me how special I am, but 17 Valentines isn't special at all. 17 Valentines is just the same as everybody else. I did a sigh. Nanas, I said, you can't believe a word they say. Grace looked cheerier. Count yours, Junie B. Count your Valentines and see if you got 17 like Lucille and me. course I got 17 silly grays, I told her. Everybody in this whole room got 17. It was the rule, remember? After that, I put all my cards in a pile, and I counted them out loud, just like Lucille. I did a frown. Then I counted them again. And even again. 'Cause guess what? Somebody broke the rule, that's what. I springed up on my chair. All right, people, who didn't send me a Valentine? And do not even try to deny it, because I've only got 16 cards in my pile. I pointed my finger at Meanie Jim. Was it you, mister? Huh? Are you the meanie head who didn't send me one? I looked all around. Or maybe it was you, Mr. Polly Allen Puffer. Or you, Charlotte, who I don't actually know your last name. Or you, Roger. Or... Just then, Mrs. swooped me off my chair. And here she is, swooping her right off her chair because she is being rude. Do not stand on your chair, Junie B, she said, and please don't fight about Valentines. If someone didn't send you a card, it was just a mistake. No one would do something like that on purpose, I'm sure of it. After that, I sat back down in my seat, and I looked at that woman very curious. Because Mrs. is a nice teacher, but sometimes she does not understand children at all. Okay, chapter 6 is bingo. I put my heads on my table because I needed to figure out who didn't send me a Valentine, that's why. I thinked and thinked real hard. Then all of a sudden I springed up. Lucille! I thinked of a plan. I thinked of how to find that guy. And all I have to do is see the names of who signed my Valentines. Because whoever is missing is the person who didn't send me one. Lucille looked admiring at me. That is very smart of you, Junie B, she said. You could be on Cops. I know it, I said back. My head is sharp as a tack. After that, I got up all my Valentines in a pile, and me and Lucille looked at the people who signed them. We kept track of their names very good. Only too bad for me, because 7 of my Valentines were not even signed. Darn it, I said. Now what am I supposed to do? Just then I saw Mrs. hurrying to my table again. Junie B, I have some good news for you, she said. Guess what I just found in the bottom of the Valentine's box? I sat up real quick, 'cause guessing games are my favorite, of course. A meatball, I said. Mrs. did a frown. No, Junie B, why would there be a meatball in the box? Think about it. What have people been putting in the Valentine's box all week? Valentine's cards, I said real smart. Right, she said, and how many Valentines did you get today? 16, I told her. Yes, she said, you were missing one, weren't you? And so what do you think I found in the bottom of the box just now? This time I fought my hardest. A meatball, I said. Mrs. rolled her eyes up at the ceiling. Then I looked up there too, except I didn't see nothing. Finally, Mrs. pulled a giant envelope from behind her back. No, this, Junie B, she said. This is what I found in the bottom of the box. I found this big envelope, and it's addressed to you. My mouth came open very shocked. Then, all of a sudden, I clapped my hands together, real thrilled. Hey, wait a second here. Maybe this could be my missing Valentine. Mrs. looked at me funny again. Bingo, she said kind of soft. Yes, I shouted. Bingo, bingo, bingo. After that, I jumped up and down and I danced all around, 'cause nobody broke the rule after that. And that was very nice of them. After I finished dancing, I opened up the envelope. And it was the most beautifulest card I ever saw. It had lace and hearts all over the front, and a big purple ribbon was weaved all around the edge. And I think that is the big Valentine card. Look, Mrs., look, it's a Mushy Gushy kind, I said. I always wanted one of these things. Who sent it, huh? Read me their name, okay? Who sent it? Mrs. opened up the card and looked at the name. Then she laughed out loud. Well, it looks like you've got yourself a fan, she said. She ruffled my hair. And here she is with Mrs. looking at her card. This card is signed from your secret admirer. I raised my eyebrows up. Huh? What? Who? Mrs. smiled. A secret admirer is someone who likes you very much, but he's too shy to tell you, she explained. I guess your Valentine's Day turned out pretty good after all, didn't it? She said. Yes, my Valentine's Day turned out almost perfect, I said. Now all I have to do is figure out who my secret admirer is, and I will be in business. After that, I put my head on my table and I closed my eyes, because I needed to think of another plan, of course. Okay, chapter 7 is Wink Wink, and that in chapter 8 is Who Knew. Those are the last two chapters I have, so in a little bit I'll read those. Okay, bye.